Missing You inspired by the song Missing by Everything But the Girl and Todd Terry, 1994. I step off the train. The train screeches into the station like it's protesting my return, and maybe it's right. Fuck. I shouldn't be here. I know it. Everyone who's ever cared about me knows it. But the moment I step off, the air hits me with that familiar weight and smell, the kind that wraps around your ribs and squeezes until you remember everything you tried so hard to forget. I walk the path I've walked 100 times. Down University, off to Millie Street, past the same cracked tiles, past the same homeless man who doesn't even recognize my ass anymore. I inhale the semi-sweet air mixed with the smell of gas, a strange, painful reminder of the past. The abandoned corner store sits on the corner like an empty seashell. I'm walking down your street again. Your street. Millie Street. Hell, even thinking of the street's name hurts. Every step feels forced, but steady, like I'm a ghost retracing my own footsteps. I pass Top's restaurant, where you used to snag a fry before I could even get it out of the bag. I walk by the lamppost that flickered the night you told me you loved me, your voice trembling like you were afraid I'd run funny. You're the one who left. You don't live there anymore. Finally, I reach your old door. It should mean nothing now, but it does. It's the wrong color, the wrong flowers, the wrong light hue in the windows. Strangers live there now, but when I see it, my chest cracks open with that same brutal, familiar ache in my heart. You were always 2 steps ahead of everyone. We'd walk behind while you would run. I close my eyes, and I can hear you, leaning out the upstairs window, calling my name, where I always used to be. Hey, Rachel, that impatient urgency in your voice, like the world was on fire, and only I could put it out. You were always ahead of everyone, dragging the universe behind you, while the rest of us struggled to breathe in your gravity. On that fast track, doing too damn much at times. And then one day, nothing, no goodbye, no explanation, just an absence so total that even the air felt wrong. Could you be dead? People whispered stories about you. Some said you'd gone abroad. Others swore they saw you boarding a flight under a false name. One woman told me, wide-eyed and breathless, that she heard you'd gone somewhere no one could follow. Maybe it's foolish, but a part of me believes that one. I want to believe that it's my only hope that we're still on this earth together. But unfortunately, we were never meant to stay here, on this earth. You were a storm pretending to be human, and I was the fool who tried to hold on to lightning, like outer space. You drifted beyond reach. You found some better place. I touch the doorframe, and the cold bites at my fingertips. I press harder, as if I could force memory back into the wood, into the paint, into the bones of the building. But it's useless. Everything here has moved on, except me. And again, I can still hear you shout down to me, right where I always used to stand. Back on the train, I collapse into my seat like the air has been punched out of me. I ask myself the same question I've asked every single time. Why the fuck did I come here? And the answer is always the same, even if I refuse to say it out loud. Because I still love you. Because I'm still waiting. Because hope is a poisonous thing, and I never learned how to stop drinking it. The train shudders, and the city begins to fall away. I imagine you somewhere far beyond the reach of my hands, maybe in some other state, some other country, maybe in some other life, maybe in a place I can't even understand, where the rules of gravity and heartbreak don't apply to you the way they do to me. I whisper it before I can stop myself. I miss you. The words taste like confession and surrender all at once. The train carries me forward, but my heart stays behind, trapped on that street, stuck in limbo. I wonder if I'll ever escape this orbit, this repeated mental cycle, or if I'm doomed to circle the memory of you forever. This has to stop, but the thought of you never does, because I miss you, like the deserts miss the rain.
The Trial of Johna Miles. Johna Miles was the kind of man people pointed to when they said, "He's got it all." A successful tech entrepreneur, a devoted husband to Elise, and father to 3 bright kids. His company, MileTech, had grown from a one-bedroom idea into a global innovation firm that funded clean water projects in Africa and scholarships for underprivileged youth. He tithed generously, volunteered at shelters, and never missed a Sunday service. If goodness earned protection, Johna should have been untouchable. One morning, the headlines shifted. MileTech accused of data breach cover-up. Within days, investors pulled out. His company collapsed under the weight of scandal. Though Johna had no part in the wrongdoing, an employee had falsified reports. The internet had already decided his guilt. Then came the car accident. Elise and their youngest, Emily, were driving home from visiting her parents when a drunk driver ran a red light. They didn't make it. Johna's world cracked. His friends came at first. 3 of them, Mark, a pastor, Aaron, a lawyer, and Lee, his oldest friend, sat with him in the hospital chapel, silent for hours. But as the days turned into weeks, their silence became explanations. "Maybe God's trying to get your attention," Mark said carefully. "You should pray more, Johna," Aaron added. "Maybe there's something you need to repent for." Lee said nothing, just looked at him with eyes that couldn't find the right words. Johna didn't argue at first, but at night, when the world was quiet, he screamed into the void. "Why, God? I've done everything right. I've tried to honor you. Is this my reward?" The sky stayed silent. He stopped praying, stopped eating. He sat for hours in the small park where Emily used to feed ducks, staring at nothing. One evening, an old man sat down beside him, a stranger, wearing a faded coat and a tired smile. "You're Johna Miles," the man said softly. "I read about you, lost a lot." Johna nodded, saying nothing. "I lost everything once too," the man continued. "Family, work, purpose, thought God was cruel, thought he didn't care." Johna looked up for the first time, and I learned something in the silence, the man said. "God doesn't owe us answers, but he's still there in the wreckage, whether we believe it or not." When Johna turned to respond, the man was already walking away. Months passed. Johna began volunteering again, quietly this time, helping rebuild homes after a flood. No cameras, no foundation name, just him and his hands. He didn't get his company back. His wife and daughter didn't return. But something in him began to heal, slowly, painfully, like scar tissue forming over a deep wound. One night he stood on his porch watching the sunset. His oldest son, Nathan, joined him, leaning on the railing. "You still believe, Dad?" the boy asked. Johna took a long breath, watching the light fade into night. "I don't understand God," he said, "but I still trust him. Maybe that's enough." And in that quiet, Johna didn't hear an answer, but he felt peace, like a whisper carried on the wind.